Don Simon, and a few months ago we looked at an app from Tiggly which combined physical shapes with an iPad app. So you could take a square and put it down on top of the iPad and it would recognize it as a square and interact with some apps that Tiggly created. Now they're back with a numbers version of that game, and they have called this Tiggly Numbers, appropriately so. And what you get now are some more of these shapes. They feel very similar to the other ones. They've got like a rubberized coating on them, but these shapes represent numbers. So this is the 1. You've got a 5 here, a 3, a 4, and a 2, and you use these with their apps to count out things. And it's a great way for kids to kind of interact with things in a more physical way if you're concerned about screen time and whatnot. So let me just turn down the volume on this here. The apps have really improved quite a bit. The artistry is really nice. They support the Retina screen. Very interactive, very fun to play with. So this is there's a couple of apps. I'll run through all of them. This is one is called Chef, and we'll get started here. We'll just tell them we're using the shapes here. You pick out your game, and then what you do is you have to kind of put together a recipe for the chef here, which he's going to explain to us, and then use the appropriate number shapes to get him what he needs to put that together. So pretty cool. And while we're waiting for him to finish talking, they're also magnetic, so they kind of stick together here as well. And the way these work is that they have these little capacitive points on them, and they're all at the same distance apart. So the software is kind of programmed to look for those distances and know what you're putting down on the screen. So you'll see this is the 1. It's got a little capacitive circle in each corner. This one is the 5, and you can see they're all kind of spaced in different ways so that when they're placed down on the screen, they know what's going on. All right, so the chef is finally finished talking, so we're going to get to work helping him create his confection. So we're going to take a look here. He wants us first to put down 3 carrots. So we'll take out our 3-piece here and just put it down on top there, and it detected 3, and off it goes. Now what's cool is that you can be more creative about it. So if you have, the kid wants to maybe add some numbers together, you can take down the 3 and put 3 of those down, and then we want to do 2 more, so we can either do the 1 here and knock it down individually, or we could have, of course, combined the 3 and the 2 to get to 5. So it's kind of neat that you're not just restricted in just picking the right shape. You can do some combinations. Now, if you put down something that's too large, it'll say, nope, that's not going to do it for me. So you want to keep experimenting until you get the right amount. So that's the cooking game. And now let's see what else we have on here. All right, the next game we're going to check out is called Cardtoons, and this one is more of a counting game for younger kids. And what you do is start with one of your counting toys here. So we'll just put the 2 down, and it's really, again, more about counting. So you just tap those 2 little coins we just created, then you just drag them into their little holes here, and then you get a little cartoon that plays afterwards. So a lot simpler than the chef game, but again, better maybe for younger kids that are first learning how to count. All right, we got one more game to check out. This one is called Tiggly AddVenture. Again, really focused on the addition, not so much on the subtraction and multiplication and whatnot. So we'll just go ahead and pop into this. This is actually pretty similar to the chef game in that you're adding up blocks, essentially, to get this little monster guy over to his grandmother's house. So we'll let this thing load up here. So here he is. He's got his apple, and he wants to bring it to Grandma's place. And the first thing you're going to see here is 5 empty little blocks. So we have to find the right combination of numbers to get him over there. So we'll start with the 5. And this is something I've been noticing more and more the more I play this, is that it doesn't always register when you put these things down on the screen. And I don't know if this is because I've got the new iPad and maybe there's some calibration issues they're not thinking about, but sometimes you really got to work with these things to get these numbers to work correctly. I found this to be an issue with their Shapes toy as well, but not as bad as this. So you can see I'm really working it here. I'm not getting anywhere. So I think they need to do a little bit more work. But there we go. So we got the 5 down there, and he's going to cross the bridge. And this could be an area of frustration, especially if they're banging these things down on here and not getting any results. So I don't know if there's maybe a software update in the works or something that might need to detect these little pads better than it's doing. Now here we've got 10. So again, we can do the addition thing and put our 5 block down. Again, we're going to struggle here to get this to register properly. There it goes. And I can add the 3 here as well. And you can see, we'll leave it there, but you can see it's not perfect yet. They've got some work to do, at least on this new iPad, to get it working. The good news is that if you have an iPad mini, this is probably just the right size. So it's not bigger than the iPad mini screen. So the biggest piece will fit with the iPad mini. So again, some fun games, a great way, if you have kids that are really into the iPad, you're getting concerned about screen time, you want them interacting more with physical objects, this is a nice kind of compromise between the two. They can really, experiment with their numbers, but have a physical object they can hold and put down on the screen. It seems like it's got some glitches in that it's not always detecting these when I put them down, and I think in the case of a kid's game, it needs to be perfect because the kid needs that feedback, and if they're putting this down and not getting any result from it, that can be a problem. So I would imagine that's something they're going to fix over time. I didn't have as much trouble with the Shapes apps as I am with the Numbers apps right now, so hopefully that's just something related to my new iPad Air 2 that will be fixed in the near future. But I think it's a good concept. The apps are really well designed. I like it a lot, and if they can fix up some of those glitches, I think we've got a good product here. This is Lon.TV. Thanks for watching.